Hello my beautiful friends, it's Amanda here, and today we're talking about the new Orgasm collection from NARS. You may be a little confused by this because in my last video that I uploaded on Wednesday, I had this collection on my Sephora loves list as something I wanted to purchase from the upcoming VIB sale. That video was actually pre-filmed over a week ago. The day after I filmed that video, this entire collection actually arrived in a PR package from NARS. So I've actually had these things for over a week at this point. I can tell you for sure I definitely would have purchased it anyway, but I did get a lot of comments about this collection on that loves list video, which I'll link in the description box if you want to check that out, from people who had already watched reviews about these products. And personally, I know I've said this a bunch of times before, I don't watch any reviews before I review a product, just because I don't want to have my opinions and my experiences influenced by what other people say and do in their videos. But I do read all my comments, so I have heard some of the criticisms and opinions of other reviewers already. Some things I agree with, some things I do not have the same experience with, so we're gonna get into all of that. First, let me give you a little bit of product information. This Orgasm collection is something that they do in different versions pretty much every year. NARS Orgasm Blush is like one of those cult favorite products. It's been around, it's been iconic for years and years and years. So it definitely makes sense for NARS to sort of capitalize on that. There is a jumbo size Orgasm Blush in this collection. It has special packaging. All of the packaging in this collection is a brushed pale pink metal look. It is all a plastic, but it looks like a brushed metal. The jumbo size Orgasm Blush is $40 US. Blush is the most expensive product per gram from NARS, so I always recommend going for the palettes and the jumbo size products from them, particularly when it comes to their face products, because the price per gram is so high. I'm just going to show you a little comparison equation over here so that you can see what the per gram value is of a standard blush versus one of the jumbo sizes. If you don't already have this blush, then this is a good value. I feel like most people probably already own this, especially makeup junkies like myself. I think I have like 3 different Orgasm blushes at this point. It makes sense. Obviously, they've released a special edition Orgasm blush in an Orgasm collection, but I don't think this is really a necessity unless it's something that you've had your eye on and haven't pulled the trigger on. Then I would recommend going for it just based on the value. And I'm a packaging junkie, so I think this is so above and beyond beautiful compared to their standard packaging, but I don't really think it's that necessary. It'd be weird if it wasn't in the collection, but it's not something that I'm super excited about personally. Next, let's talk about this Orgasm Glow liquid highlighter. This is priced at $30 US. It has really cool packaging. When the lid twists off, the little button pops up and that's what activates the dropper. So when it's closed, it's really well locked in. I like this packaging design. When I first saw photos of it, I was kind of wishing that it was the pump that's on the liquid blushes. But for this particular product, I do think that the dropper makes sense. It gives you a lot more control over how much product you're dispensing. The fact that it has this twist and lock type of packaging is really innovative, and I really like it. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but it turned out to be pretty cool. Next, let's talk about the lip product. This is the Orgasm Oil Infused Lip Tint. It's priced at $26. It has a flat paddle style applicator, picks up plenty of product. The paddle is a little bit flexible, so it's quite comfortable to spread this oil across the lips. I do find that this applicator is plenty precise for applying the product, goes on quick and easy. No complaints here at all. The last product in this collection is the Endless Orgasm palette. The Endless Orgasm palette is $49 US. You do get 6 cream colors in here. They're supposed to be used for the cheeks, the eyes, and the lips. The packaging is pretty cool. It has this sort of bubble of plastic on top. Not ideal for storage. It is very like visually pleasing. It has a locking clasp closure. I wish that it was magnetic. NARS palettes are just notoriously so hard to open. I don't know how many thumbnails I have lost to opening NARS palettes. This one, unfortunately, is no exception to that. There is a nice big mirror in here. This does not come with a puff, a brush, or any applicator. I do like to apply cream products to my face with my fingers anyway. I find that finger application kind of warms up the product and makes it smoother and easier to blend. All 6 of these are creams. I'm glad they did not mix creams and powders in here because we all know that can be a big mess. I'm gonna go ahead and show you some finger swatches of these creams applied directly to the inside of my arm. I didn't put down any primer or anything like that. It's just straight finger swatches right to my skin. So let's take a look at those swatches and then I'll show you a full face demo applying all of these products to my face, lips, eyes after we're done with the swatches. The first 3 shades that you see swatched here, Orgasm Ecstasy, Deep Orgasm, and Super Orgasm, are all from the top row of this palette, and the last 3 shades, of course, are from the bottom row, Double Orgasm, Orgasm Fever, and then a cream version of the original Orgasm shade. Now that we're through the pricing info and the swatches, let's jump into a tutorial where I'm going to demonstrate a bunch of these different products on my face, eyes, and lips today. I did not use the Orgasm Powder Blush just because I already had so many cheek products and I feel like, you know, we already know what the powder blush is like. So let's jump into that tutorial now. We're going to start off with the Orgasm Oil Infused Lip Tint. You can see this is super easy to apply and the color really shows up well, very shiny and bright pink. Now we're going to move on to the cheeks. First, I'm taking a little bit of the Orgasm shade and just tapping it from my finger onto the back of my hand and then starting to work that shade into my cheeks. I use the tapping method so that I don't get any big chunks or like a stamp of product. This way it's nice and warmed up and emollient, ready to go right onto the cheeks. I am applying this over top of my makeup and it is not moving any of my foundation or powder underneath. Now I'm going to layer up. I'm going to take a little bit of Deep Orgasm and using the exact same method, tapping from my finger onto the back of my hand and then layering that right onto my cheeks. These blended together really nicely and I love how these work together so that you can really create your own shade and your own intensity with these. So here's a close-up with the light turned down. That way you can see just how bright and how smooth these are on the cheeks. Now for the liquid highlighter, you do need to shake this up first. And then I'm doing the same method, just dipping my finger into a little bit and then tapping that right across the cheekbones. Again, this blended in really nicely to the makeup that's underneath. Now I'm going to work on my eyes. I first just used the shade Taunt to sort of set my eye down with no eye base underneath. Then I took the mid-tone brown called Undressed and I just really quickly put some of that in my crease for a transition shade and also along my lower lash line for a little balance. Then I took the shade Orgasm Fever, that's the deeper bronzy sparkly shade, and I tried to swipe that onto my lid using my ring finger. It wasn't very easy to blend on my lids. I also used Orgasm Ecstasy on the inner part of my lids. This one was a little bit easier to work with, but I did ultimately set these both with some powder shadows from that Skin Deep palette because they just weren't doing it for me on their own. Curled my lashes, added some L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara, and this is my finished look using a bunch of these Orgasm Collection products. I think it looks very soft and shiny and I just love this kind of look for summer. Definitely loving the cheeks more than the eyes. This collection as a whole I do like. I think there are some things that could have been changed or improved to make me love it, but I do like it. There's nothing in here that I'm like, I hate this, this is garbage. I already sort of went over my thoughts on the Orgasm Blush, just the jumbo size powder blush. It would be weird if it wasn't included in this collection since everything in the Orgasm collection is based on the Orgasm Blush. I think it's probably the least necessary to run out and buy this limited edition version, seeing as most people probably already own this if they want it, and if they don't want it, then there's no point in buying it now. So I'm a fan of the blush. I don't dislike it, but I don't feel that it's a standout product in this collection. Hopefully that makes sense. The liquid highlighter and the lip oil are the two products that I'm really crazy about. These are absolutely beautiful. I've actually been wearing this lip oil nonstop over the past week. It's so comfortable. It feels so nourishing on my lips. I love the shade. It really is true to the Orgasm name as far as the shade goes. Since it's an oil-based lip product, it's very smooth, glides over the lips, doesn't feel sticky at all, has that beautiful tint to it, just a little bit of sparkle, but there's none of that feeling of like glitter grittiness on the lips. I just love this. This is my #1 product from this collection and my #1 thing that I would recommend. Probably gonna have to buy a backup of this because all of these things are limited edition and I am hooked on the lip oil. I don't think that the swatch and the demo of this product did justice to how beautiful this is in person. The product itself is just a beautiful, shimmery dream. The first time that I swatched this, I was just lost for words. It's so mesmerizing. I think this would look great blended in a little bit with some foundation if you're looking for like a really luminous look, because this is shiny and has a bit of glitter to it. It's such a smooth, like liquidy texture that I think it would be beautiful all over the face. I see myself mixing this in with like a body lotion or even a sunscreen and just wearing it all over my entire body and just bathing in it because it's so pretty. It's like fairy dust in a dropper, and I am not one bit mad about that. The only thing I will say is this is more of an icy version of the Orgasm shade, whereas the brighter, more like golden shift version of the Orgasm shade is very beautiful across skin tones. I think that this may be a little too icy for very deep skin tones. So if you're like medium tan, I think this will be fine. That's my only single complaint, is that the shade is a little bit lighter, which I mean, it is meant to be a highlighter, so that makes sense, but it does lose a little bit of its appeal for me as a universal flattering shade. But I do really like this product. Okay, let's talk about the Endless Orgasm palette. This is the one that so many people in my comments on my last video were saying that they'd heard negative reviews about it. And I can see why. Some of those points I agree with and some I disagree with. So there are 3 shades in here that have a bit of glitter in them. These 2 on the bottom and then this one up here in the corner, which this is Super Orgasm. This lighter one is called Double Orgasm, and then the one in the middle, this bronzy shade, is Orgasm Fever. The glittery creams are the ones that I had more trouble with, and I have to say the only ones that I really don't like and won't want to work with are these 2 here on the bottom. The texture was just a little bit more challenging to work with. The other 4 shades in the palette were very easy to blend. I had no trouble applying them just with my fingers directly onto my cheeks. I had even already applied foundation, concealer, and powder, like set my whole face, and these things blended so easily on top, no problems at all. Even when I mixed the 2 blushes on top of each other, I didn't have any of my makeup underneath getting pulled up. I think that they made a beautiful shimmery finish. I love a shiny cheek. I have dry skin, so anything that's gonna make me look shiny, dewy, luminous, glowing for the gods, I live for it. And I actually really like these 4 creams. So I do wish that this was a quad instead of a 6-pan palette. Not just because I don't like the formula of these 2, I just think that when it comes to having 6 cream products, it's a little bit too much. It's more than anybody who's not a makeup artist probably needs, that would have cut down on the bulkiness of the packaging. Obviously it would have decreased the price a little bit. I just wish that this was a 4-pan palette instead of a 6-pan palette. Then I would be crazy for it. I think the shades are beautiful. I love them on my cheeks. I did not really love using them on my eyes. I did end up needing to put a powder eyeshadow on top because they never really set down to like a fully dry texture, which I love for my cheeks because it helps my face just look moisturized and alive. But on my eyes, I don't want my eyeshadow sliding all over my lids and bunching up in my little eye folds, and that's not a cute look. That's not what I'm going for. I love the creams for my cheeks. Well, 4 out of the 6 I love for my cheeks, but I don't really like this as an eye palette. With all that criticism being said, I'm glad that this is a cream palette instead of a powder palette. At first, I kind of wished that it was powders just because I'm more comfortable working with powders, but I love that NARS is always pushing the envelope. When everybody else is doing powder highlighters, they're coming out with a cream palette. I like that they're doing something different. That's what we're all looking for when we're going to invest our money. We want to get something new. We want to try something new. So I don't hate it. I don't love it. I like more than half of it. I just wish that this was a 4-pan instead of a 6-pan. How many times have I said that in this video? I'm sorry. Now that you've heard all my thoughts, I would love to hear what you think about this collection. Which pieces are really grabbing your attention? Are you gonna pick any of these up? I always love to hear what you guys think about things too. So please leave a comment down below. And as always, thank you so very much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. The fact that really? Okay. Gather yourself. It's fine. I'll form a coherent thought soon, I promise. Well, soon is subjective. Shit, can't. Killing it. Of the words. I mean, my cheeks are shiny and I love it. Actually, all of me is shiny. That's my favorite. Okay. I don't know what that means. This. Oh, it's so pretty. I love this so much. I knew I was gonna love this, and I was right. As soon as I see the word oil in a product, I'm like, go on, I'm listening. Oh, it feels so good. I love it. I love it. Oh, she's shiny today. She is shiny. All right, gotta go.